like this black and white filter. Okay, and now, do we have any luck? There we go. Okay, cool. Great. Okay, awesome. So I've got the computer here with me. So if you see me look down, I'm looking at the computer just to try and manage the chats and stuff a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to do it in black and white. I can do it in normal colors and stuff, but I'm shooting on the iPhone, so it doesn't look so great. I wish I'd had like a little bit of foresight into knowing that we'd go into lockdown. Otherwise, I would have at least bought the adapter so I could connect my camera to the computer and then do like really nice quality streams. But unfortunately, I didn't have time. Yeah. Look, it looks, I don't know. Okay, you guys tell me, black and white or normal? I don't like what it's doing weird stuff to my skin there, man. I don't like that. It's just the photographer in me doesn't like that. So I hope you guys will manage with that. Okay, so let me have a look here. There's some questions and stuff already starting. I know we're a little bit early. I just wanted to see if I could work out some of the technical glitches before we start, because it's the first time on YouTube. So I have no idea what I'm doing with this. Okay. Rolf's here. Jacobus is here. Hey, the Okies are in. Okay, so first question from Andre Maritz. In hindsight, are you happy you chose the manual Jimny over the auto? Yes, I am actually. This is something that we have discussed before in the live streams. I've never really chatted about it too much in actual videos, but when Blaine and I were in Botswana, the auto kept spinning out because you couldn't disable the traction control. And the manual, I would just go into low range and disable the traction control. And because you can drive quite a bit faster in low range in the manual than in the auto, because you've got those extra gears, it actually made it much safer when driving on those like really slippery, muddy pans and stuff like that. And in some of the thick sand where, you know, your traction control on the auto might want to engage when you don't want it to. So in hindsight, yes, I'm glad I took the manual, but there's times when like rock crawling and off-roading and stuff like that, like on trails and obstacle courses, where the auto is just, I get really jealous on those days. I saw another one here. I don't know where it is. It seems to have disappeared, but somebody asked, when am I going to travel to Mozambique? I don't know if that question was asked or if I just made that up in my brain. Mozambique is on my list. To be honest, I don't know, for some reason it's a country that I'm nervous of, because I've heard a lot about the bribery and like the corrupt police and stuff like that and all the checkpoints, but I heard a lot about that in Botswana as well, and I had a completely different experience to what people said it was going to be like. So that's also something where I think it's just nerve-wracking until you actually go there. I was nervous about Eswatini, I was nervous about Botswana. After going to the countries, I highly recommend them and I would go again very easily. So I guess it's just one of those things. I just got to get the courage to do it. Will you upgrade your infotainment system? This is from, buddy, I'm going to try your name. I'm going to try it. Temujin Monkbat. Monkbat. Tell me if I got it right. Will you upgrade the infotainment system? Any suggestions for improving the speakers? Okay, so the speakers are pretty shocking, the standard speakers. I'm not a upgrade your sound type of guy. So I have kind of thought about it, but it's an intimidating task for me. So it's something that I just haven't seen taking some of the money and doing that when I've got so many other things to try and work on with the vehicles. So, and especially, you know, going out and traveling, I blast that. My sound system is on full when I'm driving. I've got a lot of wind noise from all the accessories, and the car in general is quite noisy. And because I end up driving in fourth instead of fifth, my RPM is also slightly higher. So it's a very noisy driving experience, but I just crank that volume full and it's fine for me. Which country I am in South Africa, in Johannesburg. You're gonna get diff lockers. That's from What Nevermind 21. I would love to put diff lockers on. I think the Jimny would really benefit from having diff lockers, and also at the same time, I prefer diff lock over the traction control system that the Jimny has. So yes, I would definitely do that. How's the gear ratio on the Jimny? I wish it was a little bit, just a little bit lower. Yeah, just a little bit lower. It would help in high range, and then obviously when you go into low range, it would be even lower. Just give a bit of a slower crawl, and you know, also just a bit more control off-road on really rocky terrain. Now in that Botswana series, the one where Blaine and I go out onto the pans, we do a low range drag race, okay? That's where you can see that my vehicle actually rolls a little bit faster than the auto. And that was the whole point of doing that test, was to show you that the auto's gearing is slightly lower than the manual. So when you're putting on bigger tires, when you're doing stuff like that, that's going to impact you less than on the manual. So that's something to think about for your everyday driving. Because the manual, you feel that even the slightly bigger tires, you do feel that impact. Hello from Germany. Is the auto lighter on fuel? No, the auto is heavier on fuel. But if you are me and you are Blaine, and I drive around with a fully kitted Jimny with roof rack, tent, all of that stuff, the tires, the bumpers, everything. Blaine has the same size tires. He's also got a roof rack on, and he had ammo boxes at the time. Not as much stuff up on the roof as me, but he actually got better fuel consumption than me on the open road on that trip. So that was very interesting. I fought very hard to try and get better fuel consumption than him, and I just couldn't. But that could also be tire pressures can come into that, hey? Just so you know. When you come to Mars, give me an email. So this is from Gustavo Cruz. When you come to Mozambique, give me an email. We can pick up at the border and avoid any issues. Ha! Ha ha! Well, so you might be getting an email from me. Pop me a DM on Instagram or something like that, or pop me an email and I can get back to you easier. Greetings from Mongolia. That's so cool. Mongolia's, that's on my list, man. I don't know if you guys have watched the Grand Tour, but that episode where they go to Mongolia is one of my favorite. I won't give too much information about it because I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but that is one of my absolute favorite episodes of Grand Tour. Do you wash or detail the Jimny by yourself? So, I mean, that is a very interesting question because I'm very lazy. So I will generally do it every now and then, but I won't do it all the time. There are just times when my schedule is busy. I don't have the time to necessarily do it myself. I'll just drop my car off at the car wash or whatever, and I can then sit and work and do stuff like that. So that's it is good to do it, and I recommend doing it. I do recommend doing it because it is important to be aware of your vehicle and check out your vehicle, and there's no better time to do that than when you're cleaning your vehicle and doing a bit of detailing. Hello from the States, from Dorels. Hello. Oh my gosh, I've lost all my questions. I scrolled a bit too fast. What's the gear ratio on the Jimny? I'm not too like sure on the absolute technicals and stuff like that. If I had Blaine here, he'd be able to tell you all the information. I'll be happy to organize a great 4x4 experience here. Gustavo, that sounds awesome. Maybe we can make a trip of it. Maybe we can invite some people and we can do make a film and film a series. That'd be really cool. Okay, last seen exploring, 100% with lower gear ratios. Would you consider swapping out gears in front and rear diffs to sort the problem out? I would. If I was going to do that, then I would do it for 31-inch tires. So I would intentionally go much bigger on the tires and really make advantage of the lowered gears. It's an expensive procedure. It needs to be done properly. It's something that, you need to make sure that that's a commitment you want to do. But I'm pretty sure the benefits would be pretty damn worth it. What would you choose if the Jimny was not available for the SA market? Defender, Discoverer, Fortuner, or other brand? Does the vehicle need to be the same size as the Jimny? Or does it just need to be the same price? That's that's the kind of thing. If it has to come down to the same size, there's not really many options. I mean, you get the short wheelbase Jeep Wrangler. That's, you know, that kind of size. It's still big, it's still wide. I wouldn't say it completely kind of competes with the size of the Jimny. Another vehicle that's really great, a lot of fun, the Daihatsu Terios. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of things with that. But when it comes to price, like you're saying, yeah, I think you can get a lot of really great vehicles, if not even better all-round vehicles for less money than the Jimny. I think the Jimny is quite expensive, but it's obviously very trendy and very new and very exciting. So it's got a whole bunch of other things that you're kind of paying for. So I would look at something, if you really want like an overlanding vehicle, I'd definitely look at something like a Prado. I'd definitely look at something like the Isuzu D-Max, something like that. Those are, you know, if you get a relatively low mileage Isuzu D-Max, you can get it for a decent price, around 200, 250,000. And that will last you for years. And they're incredibly capable vehicles. Okay, what is the RPM difference between the manual and auto? We did play around with that a little bit. I don't necessarily remember. I think it was maybe about 200 RPM or 150 RPM difference. But I found I just have to, you know, the auto is also switching all the time. And that third, because it's mainly, I don't want to talk about it specifically because I don't know it 100%, but I think from what Blaine said, it's a 3-gear with a 4th gear as overdrive. So it's really that 3rd gear plays a lot of responsibility for the vehicle. So I have a feeling that in 3rd gear, you are at a much better RPM for, you know, than for me in 4th gear, you know, in terms of getting the balance between RPM and fuel. So that was from Estefan Fouche. I hope I answered that question a little bit. Hello from India. Service, did you got diff locks on the Jimny? No, I don't have any diff locks. I do not. Hi, bro. Okay, nope. That's spams. What about transfer case low range gear kits? Are you going to do it? So Dimitros, from what I've chatted to the guys at Dassault, they've recommended to rather do diff gear reduction than doing transfer case gear reduction. You get a better reduction by doing in the diffs, if I remember correctly. It works out to a similar price in the end, because actually doing the transfer case ones is a lot more manual labor. So, and it's a lot trickier. Now you're going into the actual transfer case of the vehicle, whereas, you know, going into the diffs is probably going to be a lot easier, a lot less hectic. Oh my gosh, guys, there's a lot of questions. I would need like 3 of me to answer questions. When doing overlanding trips to the likes of Botswana, etc., how do you propose carrying a second spare wheel? This is from Byron Tappen. You can't. You can't. There's no space, buddy. There's no space. That's why I went with BF Goodrich, because they have that reputation for being really solid. And, you know, remember, you're in a vehicle that weighs half, if not more than half, of what a lot of other vehicles weigh. I've got a friend with a Hilux. When he's fully kitted out for trips, his vehicle is in at 4 tons. You know, when I'm fully loaded, I'm at about 1.6. So that's a very different weight. So if you're going to think of the rubber and a nail, or the rubber and a branch or something like that, you know, let's talk about more organic things, because a nail, you're screwed anyway. But more organic things, there's less pressure. So I just have this feeling like you're going to be less likely to get punctures with a Jimny. Then, I mean, that may be absolute poppycock, but that's just how I rationalize it to myself to, you know, keep me safe. What is the top speed in kilometers per hour you have achieved? I know this is not what it's for, but if you do need to do a tar trip to George, for example. Okay, yeah, that George, I've done Joburg to PE in a day, and that's not fun. So I understand your concerns there. Sorry, and that is from Rob Nelson. Rob, I have done over the speed limit. Not very much, but I have gone over the speed limit on our highways. And, you know, I do when I overtake. If I need to overtake, I do a slingshot. I kind of build a bit of a distance from the truck in front of me, for example, and I wait for a little bit of a downhill, and I just gear back to third, and I just slam it, and by the time I'm getting in front, I'm going about 130. So you can definitely get the speed out, and that's fully kitted. That's if I need to overtake, I make a plan and I can do it. You just have to be smart and use gravity to your advantage. Don't try and overtake on an uphill. You know what I mean? If you're gonna overtake on flat, just give yourself space, give yourself time, make sure it's clear. One of the best things I found about driving the Jimny on the long roads is that because I don't drive at 120, I don't drive in the same traffic that everyone else drives in. I drive at 100 to 110, so generally people are overtaking me. It's a much more kind of pleasant driving experience, actually. Then you really only have to overtake the really slow trucks, in which case they're going 80. So you only need to go 110, 120 to be able to get past them fine. Dimitros, I've seen you've said a long reply. I'll get to that now. Okay. Mr. Temujin, what is your current tire size after changing the suspension? Also, how was the swing to sideways after upgrade? Okay, very interesting question, very valid. Also, how much did the storage weight increase? So that rolling effect that the standard suspension has was pretty much mitigated with upgrading the suspension. I'm now on 215, 75, 15 my tires, so same as from when I first put on my tires. But yeah, the suspension did make a big difference on that in that body roll. I mean, I had a guy who was getting in touch with me and sending me videos of his vehicle and how wobbly it was, and he was like taking it into Suzuki, all of that. So I said, just go put the Sol kit on. And he was determined to test it with Suzuki and change it with their suspension and all of that stuff. And I was like, just do the kit. And he went and he did the kit, and he phoned me and he was like, oh my word, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. It's completely changed the vehicle. It's totally safe now. So there's a lot of stuff. Like, I really think I've got a video coming up where I talk about, I've done a review on the Jimny. So that video is going to come out on Wednesday, and you can hear what I have to say about it. Any ideas to increase fuel tank? There are rumors of a 65-liter fuel tank, but it was for the previous Jimny. I don't know if it'll fit in the new Jimny. I have to find out, but it's expensive. It's really expensive. Okay. Bicryptes. Hi. Question. Why don't you use heavy-duty rear panhard rod when upgrading your Jimny? I just haven't had one or had the option to do that. But I know that the panhard rods on Jimnys are just a hollow tube, so they do eventually break, because obviously once that metal fatigue happens from them flexing and flexing and flexing, that just goes boop. So that is a very valid thing, and I think if you are doing hard trails and lifting your vehicle and doing all that stuff, I would go for a more heavy-duty panhard if you can. So that was, yeah. Any ideas? We chatted about that one. Okay, Amiram. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm trying to expand my horizons. Amiram Zokovitsky. I have written all the scripts for those videos. I've got everything done. I don't want to really film them at home. You know what I mean? I would really like to film those videos and give them good, I'd like to give you guys good insight on them. You know what I mean? I don't want to kind of do a half-assed job on it, and here I am at home and I've got like, cool, I can show you the camera and I can talk a little bit about it and stuff. So that's the one I might do, is I might show you all the equipment. But then for the making of and how I make my videos, I need to be able to travel for that. I need to be able to show you while I'm out there and set stuff up and do a proper behind the scenes for you guys. Just telling you how I do it from home would just be, I don't know. I don't think that would do it any justice. So, Nick DeVos, max weight / preferable weight on the roof rack, effect on the vehicle. Interesting question. I think this one, at the end of the day, you take responsibility for yourself. You put stuff on your your roof. I would say from my personal experience, I've found that this is all with upgraded suspension. I would say up to 60 kilograms on the roof, you barely feel it. I wouldn't go, for me, recommending to other people, I wouldn't recommend you go higher than that, because I'm in a public position, and I don't want to encourage you to do stupid things. I do stupid things, but I accept my responsibility. And if you want to do stupid things, you got to accept your responsibility. Yeah, I would say 60 kgs is, think of it like this. You can put load bars and a rooftop tent, comes in under 60 kgs, or you can put a roof rack and some luggage and stuff on it, comes in at around 60 kgs. So that's like a really useful amount of space and weight. You can do a lot with it, and you can still stay safe. Cool. Let's see here. We don't get the Jimny in the USA, but I'm using a ton of your videos to outfit my Jeep Renegade. Thoughts on the easy or hard case awning versus soft case version? I prefer, I love the look of the hard case, but it can sometimes be a bit fiddly with those little things. And I've just never had any issues with the soft case. The soft case just zips and works beautifully. So, but then take into consideration, when I had that accident with my Jimny and I bumped it on that side, I had the hard case on, and all it did was dent the hard case. Whereas if I had the soft case, it would have broken the awning, or it would have dented the awning. I don't think it would have broken it, but it would have dented the awning. So yeah, you got to think about that. Look, on the 270 Batwing, you don't get a hard case. You only get the soft case, if I recall correctly. I could stand corrected. Any chance you'll travel to other continents to overland? Well, considering the global pandemic, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. The only way that I would be able to afford to travel overseas anytime soon is to get a sponsor. That's really the only way. I'd have to have maybe a rental company would need to sponsor me, or a tour guiding company would need to sponsor me to come along and, maybe go on one of their tours and film and document the whole experience, or, use one of their rental vehicles and travel around and do something. That's the only way I kind of see that happening anytime soon. I don't have a huge Patreon, base of, people contributing money to me all the time. So I don't actually have cash flow to be able to do that kind of stuff. Can you do Cape to Cairo with the Jimny? I think you could. I mean, you could do Cape to Cairo in a city Golf. You don't need a 4x4 to do Cape to Cairo. I think it would be a hell of a lot of fun, but I think you'd struggle with fuel big time. You just don't have the range. You'd be having to carry fuel inside the vehicle, and that's not recommended. If you could, so Jason Boylan, sorry buddy, I didn't mention, sorry. So Jason asked if I would travel to any other continents to overland. So would I? Yes, definitely. If I got the opportunity to, I would. New Zealand is on my list. I've done Scotland, very fortunately. New Zealand is on my list. I would love to do America. I'd love to, everywhere. There's just no holds barred. Like, I would really like to do Mongolia. I would really like to do this. But Mongolia is my bucket list. And that I would like to do. I would love to have plenty of time to do Mongolia and go into China and do that. Yeah. That'll be me with a long white beard and a very wide brim hat, doing my adventures much, much later in my life. How much fuel do you need on 100 kilometers without and with the full loadout? So that's from Jade 187. I can get just under 10 liters per 100 without everything on. Yeah, I'd say maybe 9.5 if I drive really nicely. And then with everything on, it's 12.5. Pretty consistently. Like, that's worst case scenario, into a headwind, all of that stuff. Like 12.5 I can rely on having. That's my worst fuel consumption. I've seen higher, but that's in absurd conditions. Love the overlanding videos. Can't wait for the next one. Cheers. Estefan Fouche, yeah man, I can't wait either. I've managed to film so much stuff on that Kakakama trip that I did. And I'm really glad I did, because obviously we didn't foresee this happening. I'm really glad I filmed so many videos while I was there. I worked really, really hard while I was there, and I filmed about 6 videos. So luckily I've been able to put out some videos with a little bit of location in them and not just everything here in this little cubicle of mine, because it's really uninspiring. And it's good to have this space, but it's really uninspiring for me. Any plans for bar work? Whatever mine 21, nah, it's not really necessary in South Africa. It's more of an Australian thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's too heavy for the Jimny. It's just too heavy. I'm even like, even having bumpers and stuff is debatable. Really, it is. I would say the main thing you need from bumpers is you need a place to mount your winch, which could be customized into the standard bumpers, and you need recovery points. That's really what I think. I love having the side steps / rock sliders. Those are really great and really useful for climbing up onto the car and stuff. But I mean, you could climb on the back wheel. You know, it just gives you more space to climb around and access the vehicle, which it works. It works, and I love having them. But it's really for the looks. The looks are incredible. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys can all agree with that. Boom, boom, boom. Joe Bluxum. I like that one. After driving the manual and the automatic Jimny, which one would you buy if you had the choice? Type of off-roading will be around SA. I would probably go for the auto. My initial order was actually for an auto. And, you know, then I was like, oh, autos are going to be in high demand. So I went for a manual so I could get one sooner. So, I mean, the reality is I wanted the auto, because I know it's just, in terms of day-to-day life, driving in traffic, doing all that stuff, life is a breeze. Weekends out off-roading and, you know, doing 4x4 trails and stuff like that, life is a breeze. The only problem comes in with those really long sandy roads, or driving on the pans in like that very light slippery mud, where you know what I mean? That would really be the only area where the manual shines. Really gives you that much better fuel economy. If we look at Blaine and my vehicle, and he's getting better fuel economy than me. He doesn't have as many accessories, he doesn't have as much weight. So that is a factor, but at the same time, it's not too bad. Sorry, I noticed now that the camera moves every time I put my hand on the counter. I'm really sorry for my shoddy workmanship of building this table. Okay, so this is from Bacryptes. Thinking to start upgrade Jimny, but I live where there are many rivers and off-roads. I like camping, often have to cross rivers, some very deep, or Jimny suitable for it. It's not a Toyota Land Cruiser. It's not a Toyota Land Cruiser. And I would say the biggest concern with the Jimny when crossing very deep water is that overall the vehicle is shorter than other vehicles. So, you know, like Land Rovers and stuff like that, you get a 900mm wading depth. I don't know what your version of deep is, but to be honest, you want to try and stay away from water wherever you can, you know. Do you get sealed air intake boxes, air filter boxes for the Jimny? I don't know if there's that kind of stuff available yet, but you'd want a sealed air intake box. The radiator fan is often an issue. As soon as it hits water or mud or something like that, they can often break. You can get water in diffs, so you'll need diff breathers, transmission breathers. You'll need breathers on everything. And the highest you'll still be able to go, even with a snorkel, a sealed air intake box, and all the breathers, is still just above the logo. And that's with pushing a bow wave. You really don't want your whole vehicle submerged in that much water. It's just silly. So I would say if you're having to cross a lot of water all the time, I would get a cheap old 4-wheel drive with 0 electrics in it and just use that, man. Customize it, put new seats in, put new, you know what I mean? Drill holes in the bottom, put a bath plug in there. One of the guys, Henry Mouton, he's got a little SJ that is modified and supercharged and everything. He's literally got little bath plugs in the bottom of his Jimny, because if it gets muddy or it gets wet and he gets out that obstacle, he just opens his bath plugs and the water drains through. That's a practical 4x4 for those type of conditions. I think the Jimny is a hybrid vehicle. You know what I mean? It's like it's a life everyday vehicle, and it can take you on awesome adventures. But if you really have to, and it's not that bad, and you can kind of like knee-high water, yeah, man, go ahead, do the diff breathers, do the stuff, and you'll be fine. Under 10 liters, my Discovery do 16 liters, yeah. But the thing is, on those Discoveries and things like that, hello, on the Discoveries and vehicles like that, so take, for example, the Prado. It has a 180-liter tank. So even if you get 18 liters per 100 fuel consumption, you can still do 1,000 kilometers. It's going to cost you, but you can do it. And that's the frustrating thing with the Jimny, is only having a 40-liter tank, is I can do 350 kilometers. It doesn't matter what I do. If you're thinking about New Zealand, you should hook up with Lost Sheep Adventures. Okay. Check into that. I know I'd love to meet up with Trekker Adventures, and hopefully, you know, they would loan me a vehicle. That might be one of those things where maybe I just need to start a fundraiser or something to raise up the money to get a plane ticket. What air compressor do you have on board? From Amiram? I don't have an air compressor on board. I have a external, this guy. This is what I use, 160 liter per minute, budget 4x4 store, connected up to the battery. Charges, listen to me. It inflates the tires super fast, because it's way over-spec'd for the Jimny tires. After lockdown, maybe in Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Love your videos. One of my mates had one of the original SJ413s. So that's from Nuelio Abramosa. I'm trying. Yeah, Mozambique and Zim are on the list. For me, my first trip to Zimbabwe, I would like to ideally do through Botswana, through Pundamatenga, go into Hwange National Park, and then drive up to Manapools. That's ideally how I'd like to do my first trip to Zimbabwe. Claudio, hello. Gustavo, yep, that is also true. Okay, Joe Bluxham, is there an upgrade kit to get more power out of the new Jimny, or what would you suggest? There is a way you can get more power out of the Jimny. It's about 11% more power, and it's by doing a full exhaust replacement. And that is by Viper Exhausts in Edenvale in South Africa. They do a full 4-to-2-to-1 branch replacement and decat and straight through pipe. So there's a really nice, that's a really nice kit. That they get 21% power increase from the Gen 3 Jimny. Can you believe it? And then the Gen 4 Jimny is only about 11% power increase. And that's just going to allow the vehicle to breathe better. And remember, that's done up here in the Highveld, on dynos up in the Highveld. So I don't know what kind of effect you'd have, maybe an additional 10% down by the coast. Is your current setup practical to daily driving? So parking safety issues. So Gustavo, I can I'm just under 2.2 meters. And most places in South Africa, the underground parking is 2.2 meters. So I can just make it into some places. There's some places I can't. I just don't go to those places. Yeah. Most places I just park outside and I have no issues. The Jimny is such a great little vehicle to park around town and stuff like that already, so it's really not too hectic. The only thing I don't like is that I can't park in the garage. Yeah, so I can't have a nice Jimny over here because I have a rooftop tent on. I disagree. With an ARB 40mm lift and 214 have done winter river crossings of about 900mm height, no problem. Peter, it's not that it can't do it. It's not that it can't do it. It's that if you're doing that all the time, you are going to damage your vehicle. You're going to damage your vehicle. The vehicle is not made to do that standard. It's not just about lifting about putting the tires, 215 tires on it. It's not about lifting the body. The water gets pulled in through the hubs into your diff. It's from the contraction and expansion from hot diff hitting cold water, and that when it contracts, it pulls water in to your diff, or it pulls it in through the breather, or it pulls it in through, you know what I mean? So there's things like that. That is the problem. If you're driving all the time through that environment, you need to prepare your vehicle properly. And if you're going to be doing that all the time, I'd rather have a vehicle that doesn't have those electronics. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the Jimny can't do it. You guys have seen me do videos going through crazy water with the Jimny. You've seen the photos. I've done it. And I got water in my diffs. I got water in the back of the vehicle. And if you do go through water, in your little tire repair kit, where your tire repair kit is, there's that foam kind of thingy there that holds everything. Lift that up and see if you've got mud and stuff under there, because it pulls in. There's holes in the back of the vehicle for airflow. And if that rear end of your vehicle dips in the water, we did one 4x4 trail, 3 of us got water in our vehicles like that. And that might sit there for ages and you never know, and it can be rusting your vehicle. Okay. Victor Joshua Alvarez. Hello, Rome Overlanding. About the suspension, what is more advisable for highway and off-road driving, Old Man Emu or Tough Dog? I've heard that the Tough Dog kit is very hard. Very hard. That's just what I've heard. I've never driven it. I've never tried it. I've heard that Old Man Emu is a very comfortable ride, and it's very well designed around a standard unladen Jimny. So I think, if you're not loading up your vehicle a lot, then I would go for the Old Man Emu kit. But if you're loading up your vehicle a lot, then maybe the Tough Dog kit. The reason why I go with the Dassault kit is because it's it's a medium rated coil, dual rated, so that it performs, it's a firm ride when you unladen, so it feels very comfortable and confident on the road. But when you load it up, it obviously then it'll drop a little bit, but it'll go into that next rating, and it drives really, really nicely when it's loaded up. And that's what I love about my current suspension setup. When I was out in Botswana and I was fully loaded up, I had water on the roof, I had fuel on the roof, I had all of that stuff. I've never had so much fun driving my vehicle in my life. Off-road. On-road, it was a bit wobbly. But Dassault have actually come out now with caster correction kits, panhard adjustment kits. They're even designing full customizable radial arms. So they're doing a lot of development on the Jimny, and that's what I like about them, is that they love the Jimny community and Jimnys in general. So they're really specialists, and they want to be specialists in the community. So that's why I've kind of looked in that direction, why I've gotten in touch with them and worked with them, because there's so much. I'm going to be able to slowly upgrade my suspension kit and do all of these little things. Or you can go in and get a full kit done, but they're still working on a lot of the stuff. So I really like that ongoing development. That's important to me. Frederick Goss, that's why you are a subscriber. Your honesty, and it's not just about punting Suzuki, but real practical overlanding / off-roading experience and advice. No questions, just enjoying listening. Awesome, bud. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Yeah, and we've had a pretty steady flow of people today. It's actually been really cool. I was nervous about doing YouTube because I know the previous ones I did on Instagram, but I'm glad I did this, guys. I'm really glad. How many centimeters can the Jimny be raised? Usually in my country, we modify / Super Jeeps 31 to 44 millimeter wheels. Look, you can do an 80 millimeter lift on a Jimny, but it's a very expensive procedure. You need to replace a lot of components. Tough Dog do 60 and 80, if I believe. Yeah, they do. It's a very expensive kit. You need to replace a lot of componentry. It's basically you replace the whole underside of the vehicle. Anything that connects to anything needs to be lengthened. And then I would assume you'd be able to maybe even put 33-inch wheels on it. I just got a 2020 Jimny last week. What are your thoughts on the ARB front bumper and roof rack? Also, where did you get the ladder? Khalid, so right now, I think today might even be the last day. if you go to Easy On and you get a roof rack from Easy On, you get the ladder for free. So the ladder is from Easy On. So they're actually running a promotion, a bunch of promotions at the moment, and that's one of them, specifically for the Jimny. If you order the Jimny roof rack, you get the ladder for free. So maybe go and check them out. That's easyon.com. Send them a mail. ARB front bumper, yeah, it's excellent. I mean, ARB make great products. Don't have anything bad to say about them. Claudio, I'm new to the channel. I haven't seen it yet. There's a video of your equipment list. Can you post for me? I have a 2016 Jimny model. So equipment on the whole vehicle. In every single video, if you go into the description, I have every single piece of equipment listed that's on my vehicle. I haven't updated it in a while, so there might be some things that are or aren't on there, but yeah, you can pretty much just go there and browse through and see what's on there. I don't have too much stuff. If you go onto my website, I've got a lot of fun stuff on the website, different pieces of equipment that's on the vehicle. You can go to my sponsors page where you can see the different working relationships I've had with those sponsors and like the build process and all sorts of stuff. Even if you want to watch the videos from like a Netflix type of style, you can go to the videos tab on the website, and then everything is out in like episode 1, putting on the tires, episode 2, putting on the roof rack. So I've got that all out there. So if you want to watch it like that, you can do that as well. Top 3 negatives of your Jimny and top 3 positives. I think you're going to have to watch the video that comes out on Wednesday. Sorry, Gustavo, I don't want to give away too much. In Brazil, there is an ecosystem similar to Savannah. Its name is the Caatinga. However, there are no lions. I like the tent and inflating tires, etc. Yeah, I would say the rooftop tents, it's a tricky thing with rooftop tents because you do it to feel better when you're out there. You know what I mean? You do it to like, I'm off the ground, I'm away from the bugs, I'm away from the animals, at least some of the animals. It's a mental thing. It's amazing when you wake up in the morning and you've got the view all around you and stuff like that. It's really, there's huge perks to it. There's a lot of stuff, and when people look at doing rooftop tents, they ignore that stuff. And they just go, oh, it's fiddly to set up. It is fiddly to set up. But once you get used to it, like anything, you learn how to set it up and you know how to do it. So I think it's one of those things where doing a rooftop tent, it really has to make sense for you. Some people, waking up in the morning and having that view is worth every cent. It's worth every second of setting it up. For some people, they just don't give a shit. So they don't care. They just don't want to spend time setting stuff up. So it's a really a kind of personal thing. Sorry, I saw one there that I wanted to. Oh my gosh. I keep thinking I'll catch up with all the questions, and then there's more questions. I've either been not putting enough information in my videos, or you guys have a lot of stuff that you want to know. Oh, you only found the channel today. Well, that's awesome. Welcome. This is the first time I've done a live stream on YouTube, so you're lucky. Some people have had to wait 1.5 years. Hi, we can't buy the Jimny anymore here in my country, but they will be selling the pickup version from November. Ooh, I would 100% trade my vehicle for a pickup version. That is not a problem. That is a good thing. Can you publish an easy reference list of all you have done to your Jimny and what else is new one can do? Dion Prinsloo. Dion, the best thing, if you want to just have a quick look to see all the things that I've done, is, like I said, go to my website, go to the videos tab, and then just go to the build section, and you can see episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. You'll see in the titles of all the things that I've done. And if you just want to, so it'll say dual battery system, it'll say tires. It doesn't have YouTube titles. YouTube titles are different. You have to name things differently for the algorithm to pick up the video. So there it's named exactly what it is. So you can go there and you can just have a look and see, oh, I want to learn about this or see what he did here. You can go there. I will do an update at some point. I want to do this stuff after the lockdown. I can't film everything in my driveway. Calvin DeMont. Thanks for the live chat, mate. I'm a big guy like yourself. Amen to you, brother. I love the Jimny, but I think a bigger vehicle would be better. Would you get a bigger vehicle if you could? Toyota FJ Cruiser in particular. I love the FJ Cruiser. I think the FJ Cruiser, I'll just get a Prado. Save the money. It's the same vehicle with a bigger fuel tank. And yeah, I would just do that. It's literally pretty much the same vehicle. And if you're going to put aftermarket bumpers and things on it anyway, you're going to get the great approach angles. You're going to do all of that stuff. It's got the 4-liter V6. Or if you get the Prado with a 4-liter V6, and you'll pay half the price, if not less than half the price. Buy one that's just been driven to take kids to school and back and go to the mall, and you're going to have a pristine vehicle that you can just mod to hell and gone with the rest of the money. That's my recommendation. What's next after the Jimny? Dacia project? That's a good question. That's a good question. It's been one that I've been thinking about a lot. I think especially with this lockdown, it like really makes you think about stuff, you know. And because I feel so pent up, I've been really wanting to build a van. Just so I can go and stay in Cape Town for 6 months or 3 months, or I can go and stay in KZN, and I can go and stay in PE, and I can work and film and do stuff around there. But I would have to build a van and then tow the Jimny, or you know, something like that. It's very complicated. So I don't know. I've got a lot of things going on in my head right now, and I'm very conflicted about it. So I think about it every day, though, every single day. Thanks for the advice, bro. Really appreciate it. More power on Rome Overlanding. Hoping that Rome Overlanding will continue in the Philippines. Apparently there's some mad love for Rome Overlanding in the Philippines, and I salute you in the Philippines. Stay safe. I want to come to the Philippines one day. I really do. That is on my list. And I just want to go on a Jimny bonanza around the Philippines. I think it would be absolutely insane. So yeah, if you know any companies who could make that happen, put them in touch with me. Gustavo, what was the oh yeah, this is the question I wanted to answer. What is the most dangerous event that happened to you on your trips besides you getting sick? Where did I get sick? Did I get sick? I don't know if I got sick, but I hurt my back in Botswana. That was whew. What you guys didn't see in that video where we got stuck on the pans is that I was walking around like a penguin. There's a reason there's no footage of us getting stuck. There's no footage. When there's a part in that scene where the screen goes black and all you can hear is the sound. That is because I had pushed record on the camera and I'd put it on the seat. And that had just picked up when I was going through the footage. I actually found that. And I was like, oh my word, this is the recovery happening. And all you can hear is just the sound and like the tension and all of that stuff. So that for me was a very scary situation. But I really, really injured my back. I couldn't walk. And that night when we got to, when the guys rescued us, they took us straight to their camp. And we stayed at their camp. They put out a stretcher on the ground or on the, outside. And I lay down on that stretcher. When I laid down, I couldn't stand up. I couldn't move. I couldn't even scoot myself up the bed. Blaine tried to pick me up because I wanted to eat. And he tried to pick me up. I almost threw him over my head. The pain was just absolutely incredible. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. And I couldn't scoot up onto the stretcher to put my feet off the ground because there's obviously scorpions and stuff around. So they literally had to just put a chair underneath. Is the YouTube doing the weird things? Oh, are we back? Is it back? Can you see me? Boom, 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 boom. I don't want to be ranting and then the video is not working. So okay, cool. Okay, I'll continue. Khalid says, thanks, man. We'll check the website out. Also about the ARB front bumper, requires me to add new suspension kits as the front will fall a bit. Loving the Jimny. Can't wait to go off-road. The Jimny sits a bit proud at the front. So I would say it's not the end of the world if it dips a little bit. But the ARB bumpers are quite heavy. So yeah, you might need to just go ahead and put it this way. Upgrading the suspension on the Jimny, on the new Jimny, is never a problem. Just do it. Whatever you can afford, whatever setup you like, whatever, just upgrade the suspension. The standard suspension is garbage. Okay, just get rid of it and upgrade your suspension. That is it. From testimony from Rome Overlanding, you can quote me on that. I just replace that stuff. It's really not good. Whether you go Tough Dog, Old Man Emu, Dassault 4x4, whatever you do, just get rid of the standard suspension. The reason why I go with Dassault is the cheapest way to get it replaced. Is that working? Whatever. Okay, I think it's working now. Okay, cool. What will your plans be for the lockdown? What will be the next trip? I think the next trip is definitely going to be heading somewhere near Namibia. I think that's what needs to happen. Would you say overlanding and mountain biking go hand in hand? By the way, you're doing great. Ah, thanks. Yeah, I think mountain biking is pretty damn cool. And I think you need to be able to have a vehicle to get you to really crazy places where you can really have a great, special, unique time doing mountain biking. And there's a couple of places where you can go. I'm talking about South Africa, so I don't know where, wherever you are, might be a little bit different, but there's some places that have got like special biking trails where you can drive, you actually 4x4 all the way up to the top of the mountain, and then you drive down, and then obviously your passenger vehicle back down, and then you just bomb down the mountain and have a whole lot of fun. That's what people who exercise and have fun outdoors do. I don't know anything about that. Oh wow, I just got like hit with spam messages of all of you guys telling me that the stream's not working. Okay, so Bacryptes, the products you use, can these companies' products be shipped worldwide or just South Africa? A lot of them can be shipped worldwide. The suspension kit, for example, I don't know where, oh yeah, here's my boxes. No, you can't see them. Suspension kit. So this is the shock absorber, right? Inside this box is also the coil. So all they do is they just put 4 of these boxes together and they send it to you, and it's not like a huge package, sorry for the noise. It's not a huge package, so they can air freight it or whatever, send it over. As long as you're prepared to pay for the shipping, then you can get, like, for example, the suspension. But Easy On is available on most continents, in most countries. So you just need to find the dealer. The best way to do that is just to head to the website, use their dealer locator, and you can find the dealers, or pop me a message and I'll try to help you. Jimny is not available in all countries like India, so what we like is cheaper and less fuel consuming cars. Does this one fit in the same? The Jimny is not a cheap vehicle and it's not fuel efficient, so no. It's cute and small and it can go far, but yeah, it's definitely not that. Your videos inspired me for a Jimny drive around, Jimny drive? A drive around Botswana, which was planned for January 21st, but now postponed. Keep up the great work. That's from Alan Toulette. Thanks, Alan. I'm really glad, because you know what? I was inspired by other YouTubers' videos when I was getting into things, and they kicked me in the butt and said, get out there and go and have this adventure. And I've never looked back. It's been an incredible experience and it's changed my life completely. So if I can even give an ounce of that to anybody else, that makes me super happy. Janet Krobler, thanks for all your videos and advice. I had the Dassault suspension lift kit installed from watching your videos. Stay safe. Yeah, thanks, Janet. I hope you are enjoying that kit. I've heard a lot of people have gotten back to me and they've said, wow, I'm so glad I did this. It's changed the whole vehicle. The products used. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yep, we go. Oh, okay, there we go. I've caught up immediately. Nick DeVos, Namibia, your country, is a country that I have not been to and I really, really want to go to. And somebody whose videos that I watched that really like, they got me really pumped, was Juba's Journey. I did that video with him where we looked at his Land Rover Defender and that whole custom camper build he's got going on there with that thing. And when I was watching his videos of him in Namibia, I was just like, wow, that is such a special place. I can't wait to go there one day. Is the Renault Dacia / Duster sold here? Dacia project, yeah, it is. It's a very popular vehicle. And for a lot of people who aren't doing a lot of off-roading and stuff, I actually recommend they get that instead of the Jimny if they want something that's a bit more practical, a bit more family orientated, and they're just doing dirt roads, dirt roads to maybe go to, a mountain bike track or things like that. Maybe not necessarily stuff that's off-roading. I've heard that you can do some stuff, but the componentry of the Renault Dusters is not built to do really hectic stuff. Just because it can do it once doesn't mean it should be doing it all the time. You know what I mean? I might be wrong there. I know there's people that are fans of things. Don't yeah, don't kill me. What do you think of the ARB air lockers? Would I buy the rear lockers for front or rear? Is it necessary that I would immediately install it after buying or overlanding without lockers? Victor, you don't need lockers to overland. You need lockers to 4x4, to do like off-roading trails. If you watch 4-wheel drive action, there you need lockers. You know what I mean? If I wanted, there's a very notorious pass in South Africa called Baboons Pass. It's in Lesotho or on the border of Lesotho or something like that, and that you need lockers because it's really rough. It's really, really rough. So where you need lockers is when you're going to have multiple wheels in the air or you're going to have very limited traction. That's when you need lockers. Overlanding, you don't. I really like what you're doing. I think one of the most important things that you do is promoting all the local stuff. More now than ever before. Well done. Yeah, man. You know what? These guys work so hard and they make such great products. And you know the thing is, they spend their time making those products. They don't spend their time marketing them. That's where people like me can come in and we can work together. We can have a symbiotic relationship. And, I get to test the products out, give you guys that information. And I'll be honest as I possibly can with things. Anybody who buys something, just because you buy it doesn't mean you're honest. You know what I mean? You bought it, so you're going to lie to yourself through your own teeth to tell yourself that it was worth it, because your wife is going to be asking you a lot of questions about how much money you spent. And you're not going to turn around to her and say, I guess it's okay. Where did you buy the chairs? Very compact. Those are the Frontrunner Expander chairs. You can find them on any Frontrunner store around the world. They are great. They are very heavy. I have dropped them on my toe and it was broken. I broke my toe. Yep. Not in a video. I was actually just trying to carry the chairs to the park and yeah, very embarrassing. Jimny is proof that size does not matter for overland. Gustavo, I would say yes and I would say no to that statement. You can do an 8 to 10 day trip in a Jimny overlanding. You can. You need to plan your fuel stops. You need to plan your fuel. The fuel is the big thing. The space gets a little bit limiting. And if you are not a videographer or photographer and you don't have that kind of equipment, your life is going to be a bit better. You're going to have more space. But you have to be the type of person who's prepared to pack light, who doesn't need a lot of stuff. Then you're going to enjoy yourself. If not, you're going to find it frustrating. And even for me, I get to day 8 to day 10 and I'm like, I really wish I had a bigger vehicle. But up until that point, totally fine. For what body size is the Jimny? I'm 195. Ooh, Jade, that is very tall. Go to a dealership and sit in one. Or find a friend or somebody that you know, or get in touch with somebody in the local Jimny community in your area and see if they wouldn't mind meeting up so you could have a seat in the car and see how it feels. I did that with Juba's Land Rover Defender because I was really jonesing for a Land Rover Defender. I sat in it and I realized that that was not going to happen. And yeah, now I don't have dreams of a Land. I still have dreams of a Land Rover Defender. I would love to. It's just like classic. And I modeled my Jimny off of a Land Rover Defender. Hey, Jonker. I don't know if you're still here, Booty, but nice to see you. I got a message from somebody the other day saying, are you a boer or are you English? I was like, well, it's a very complicated question to answer. Just because I'm South African doesn't mean I'm a boer. Henry's a boer, and he's a proud boer, and I'm proud of him as well. Okay, Dimitros SJ, regarding engine, you can build proper one for... Oh, and Dimitros, sorry, I missed your other one about the dropping the gears. I'd love to know what you think. I know you are very big into your heavy modifications on the Jimnys, and I would like to know... So if you don't mind maybe finding that message or retyping it, I'd like to actually go into that. So for yourself, actually, porting plus basic headwork, balance bottom, header with exhaust, K&N. Yeah, you see, I mean, I'm reading the thing and I'm like, I know, whenever I see you, I know there's mods. Like, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of modding, man. That's a lot of modding. And those air filters, I worry about those performance air filters with the type of terrain we go through. The dust is just incredible. Fine dust is, it's really, I'm not that desperate for more power. Do you know if the engine of the V6 Fortuna is the same as the Prado and FJ? So this is from Perinsunga96. As long as it's the 4-liter V6, they're all the same. I'm not a Toyota person. I don't know Toyotas, but I would assume, why would they make 4 or 3 different engines for that? They would make the same one. This is Toyota. They make a couple different engines, and all of those engines are used throughout their vehicles. So I would assume it's the same engine. That engine is being discontinued. I don't know if it's globally being discontinued. So if you want to get one of those vehicles, it's probably best to pick them up. They're super reliable. They've got plenty of power. They are thirsty, but if you're prepared to put up with that, fantastic, fantastic engine. I may have missed this, but do you have a rear locker? What is available for the Jimny torsion auto locker? Ugh. I wouldn't touch an auto locker. I would go for an air locker. I would look at something from ARB or, you know, anything that's that level of quality. Why I say ARB is just the amount of engineering that they have behind them to develop a product is incredible, and you're probably going to get a much better product. They are, I know in Greece, Dimitris will be able to tell you guys, in Greece and places like that, they've got like loads of specialized heavy 4x4 equipment for the Jimnys. A lot of the lowering gear kits come from there, a lot of the air locking kits, they do a lot of stuff there. So you might need to look, if you want to find something that's not ARB, but if you're in a place and you have access to ARB, I'll just get an ARB kit, get them the compressor. It's quite pricey, but once it's done, and you know, I also think it's one of those things, you only have to use it once, and it needs to be useful once, and it's totally worth it. It's like a winch. It's like, you know, even like the awnings and rooftops, you only have to set the things up once, and you're like, oh yes. Would you add a winch? Yes, I would. I just don't have money at the moment to do that, so I will be looking for one. Bimadikhetla. So what is better between the Jimny and the Amarok you had before? It's smaller. I thought about it the other day, right? And one of the things, because you know what happens in life? These situations happen that develop friction. You know, it's maybe something every single day that you do that just irritates you a little bit. And after a year, it's just you pulling your hair out. You know, it happens in relationships, it happens in all sorts of things. Now, I was living in a complex and I had this really narrow parking. And I had a metal pole here and I had a red Citroen next to me. And my Amarok would take up the whole parking. It would be impossible. It was so difficult to park. And I just had these red dings on the side of my car from the lady next to me opening her car door into my car every single day. And it drove me absolutely mad. And I sold the Amarok to buy a smaller vehicle that could still 4x4 and still do all of those things, but I could fit in my parking bay. I don't live there anymore. I've now got a massive parking bay and I could park the biggest truck in the front here and it wouldn't be a problem. And yeah, so yeah, weird things happen in life. I need to thank that lady for opening her car door into my car because I wouldn't have become a YouTuber. Thanks. Defender or G-Class, both are dream cars, but the Jimny stay for me in front. Love your videos. Yeah, Jade, if you want to see some badass the Gelandewagen stuff, you have to check out... Oh, I'm filming on my phone. I can't do it, and my memory is horrible. I can't remember his name. Is it? I don't know. I'm not going to try to butcher it. I'll share some photos on Instagram. So check me out on Instagram. I'll repost some of these photos on my stories. Speed. Let's take out the Jimny engine and fit a Subaru Forester ST. Yes. That would be pretty incredible. Dennis Darren Uzer. Discovered your channel a few days back. Best adventure channel I've seen so far. Really intriguing content. Would love to meet you in person someday if you ever happen to pass by Istanbul, Turkey. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you found the channel. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. I put a lot of work into them, and it's really rewarding when people appreciate that. Any suggestions for a weekend wild camping trip, overland trip near Gauteng? You're going to have to go out of Gauteng, I think. Otherwise, Grant, head on to download the iOverlander app and see if you can find some wild camping spots a little bit closer. Might be in a cornfield, might be something random like that, but yeah, there's not really many wild camping places in Gauteng. This is another one from Dennis Darren. Do you reckon a diesel engine would make the Jimny better efficiency, more torque, maybe a higher top speed? What's your take? Why I think a diesel engine would work well for the Jimny is because the Jimny is a block. It needs torque to push it through the air. And that, I think having a diesel engine would give it much more torque. It would be a better off-road vehicle. It would have better fuel economy. It would just be a better vehicle all around. But the emissions, I mean, if they're already failing emissions on a small petrol engine in Europe, there's no way they'd pass emissions on a diesel. Rome needs to exit. Our president is giving State of Union related to COVID-19. Go and do your thing, man. Be safe, be responsible. I know that South America, well, oh no, you're in Mozambique, but I know that a lot of places are really struggling with COVID-19 at the moment. So, do the responsible thing. We've really been leaning on our president to deliver factual information and, make informed decisions. And it's been good, but I'm not loving all these lockdowns. Didn't know Toyota was discontinuing the 4-litre V6. Yep. I heard it the other day. It might be hearsay. Investigate it. Don't trust what you hear on the internet, even if it comes from me. Do your homework. But I'm pretty sure that that's happening. You need to do your camera gear video. I know. Camera gear video is going to happen. I've got the cameras. I've got 2 cameras, so I can finally make a camera gear video. Because you need to have one camera to film the other camera. So I've specially bought 2 cameras. Hi, find your equipment list, but I didn't see the car tent. I'm excited. Allow me to insist. Another thing, learn to buy on AliExpress worldwide delivery. Don't go onto AliExpress and buy. If you guys are watching this, okay, and you go onto AliExpress and you buy their fake Rome Overlanding stickers, I'll be very upset. I'll be very upset. I know because I don't sell a 50 centimeter sticker. So I'm watching you. There's one Rome vehicle with one Rome sticker on the side there, and if there's 2, that's because of me. So please don't buy the AliExpress Rome stickers. Buy the stickers from my store and support me. Don't support AliExpress. Found your... Has your tent been included on the website? Easy on. Thank you for your kindness from passing on information. So Claudio, the tent that I currently have right now, beautiful tent, is the Easy On Series 3. Okay. There's a cheaper version of it called the Easy On Jazz. It's a lighter weight mattress. It's a lighter weight canvas. It's got the big rain fly. So in a way, if you are in very rainy places, then maybe that might be the one to get because that rain fly is it like really covers the tent. Whereas on the Series 3, the rain protection is built into the tent. So it's not as hectic as the other one. So keep that in mind if you are in a rainy place. Has your need to do Mozambique trip? Thanks. Yeah, Christine, Mozambique trip. I know people keep asking me. I'm gonna do it. I will one day do it. What do you think about the 660cc Jimny? I don't know. I've never driven it. No idea what that engine is like or anything like that. But I would assume that it's great for driving around Japan. But guys, yeah, you have kept me busy for 72 minutes and 54 seconds. My tea is cold and my throat is sore. I think it's time to call this done for the day. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. I hope I managed to answer a lot of your questions. It feels like I answered a question every 3 seconds, so I hope it did. I hope this footage isn't too bad, and I promise that once the lockdown and everything is done and I can order something from Amazon, I'll be filming this on the proper camera, on the tripod with proper sound and everything. So thank you so much for kind of hanging around, and yeah, appreciate you guys. I'll read a couple of these little thank yous and goodbyes and answer a couple little questions while I slowly shut down. Great channel, thank you. So this is from Craig Gibbs. Great channel, thank you for all the videos. Do you think the Jimny would have the same charm with a bigger motor? Yeah, you answer something there, Craig. Maybe not. By the way, can we get some POV vids in the future? Would love to see that. Of what? Thank you so much for the awesome channel, great inspiration and cool Q&A from Amiram. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers, cheers. Good luck, awesome Q. I'll see you in Namibia soon. Are you considering to live on the tracks full time? Yo, I would, but you know what? I have a family and they need me and I need them. But guys, thank you so much. Cheers.